The Unexpected Truth Behind Ghosts of Dust. A Thrilling Story. By Konstantina Cheiladaki. Peter woke up to a sunny morning. Even though papers were soaring through the air like weightless birds and debris was slowly falling to the ground like the strangest snow, it remained that way for him. And so it was. Peter was motionless on the office floor, his forehead covered in blood as the floor fell and crashed to the floor below, lighting it on fire. September 11th, 2001, was the date. The story as it is told around the world is as follows: another name was added to the memorial, and a photo was added to the pyre made of candles, drawings, and wishes for the stars that burned into the sky. However, many things would alter if I told you the story. Peter was my cousin. 10 years older, a young man in his 20s with the world's brightest smile. I often teased him, telling him that he should have left his new job at the World Trade Center and worked as a carpenter because he knew how to make the best toys, out of wood. I laughed as I handed him some of the money I loved to make from dirt and informed him that he was now wealthy when he asked how he would make a living from it. If only he had listened to me. While cleaning the attic, a space with such a low ceiling that only I could fit, today, I discovered his business card. We were finally moving out of that old house, where I had spent my entire childhood but hated almost everything, that creaked with every step. It reminded me of him. However, by this point, the wound had almost closed and had healed over time, leaving only a small, occasionally bleeding scratch. As a result, when I stumbled upon the small rectangular piece of paper, I did not cry or even flinch. I blew the dust off it and greeted it like a long-lost friend, revealing the series of black digits on a white background. I still have no idea why I did this. After determining that the time was 8:43, I took my phone out of my back pocket and called. I don't know if you could call it curiosity. I wanted to know if someone had gotten his old business number or to completely heal that wound in my chest. The call was answered by a male voice. "Peter Jenkins here," he said in a serious, hurried voice, displaying an enthusiasm that shone through all of the formality. I couldn't speak and was gasping for air. "Sarah, it can't be him because he passed away a long time ago." This time, it was clear that the voice was from him. The voice came back. "Peter?" My voice creaked through my closed throat as I asked. "Is that you? Who are you?" He responded, and because I knew him so well, I knew he was looking confused to his right while pinching his eyebrows together and trying to recall something. I pressed the phone so hard on my ear that it hurt, saying, "It's Sarah." Even though I couldn't see myself, I knew that I was paler than a sheet at the moment. I felt like a ghost was talking to another ghost because I had seen his body lying motionless next to the others, eyes closed, with a black metal railing protruding from him, and his fair hair had turned gray from all the ash that had fallen on them. "Your cousin." "Hello, sweetie." He cried out in appreciation. "What's going on with your voice?" He was ignored by me. "Peter, what's the date?" He paused for a moment or two. September 11th, 2001. Why? I didn't care how or why this was happening. "Peter, you must leave your office immediately. Now." Right now, realizing that I could save the man with the curly blonde hair, whom I referred to as my sheep, I said, "Sarah, sweetie, I can't hear you, there is a strange noise," and I jumped to my feet and slammed my head against the low roof after hearing a scream and the sound of something falling. I shook my fingers to check the time. 8:48, the time when Peter was killed when the plane struck the North Tower on his floor. My hands were shaking so much that I nearly dropped my phone twice as I pressed redial. The phone number that you are trying to reach does not exist, was the only voice that came through. It was a lady. My general rule was, when enraged, never cuss. Like never before, I broke it. Because Peter, the person I had loved the most of anyone, was once more dead. However, for the 5 minutes he was alive, I had missed his voice more than anything. I was the one who found his body all those years ago, another nameless man next to the nameless ghost, the sky on fire, the blue lights of ambulances and police cars blinding me as they rushed by, the people pushing through the crowd with photos of their loved ones, but I didn't need one. All I had to do was reach out my hand to touch him, and I knew it was him. My insides were on fire, a distraction so that my heart wouldn't stop, a trick, because also, never forget, was written on the dusty cars, but you couldn't possibly forget the people running away from their deaths, the bodies all over the pavement, the smell of blood, and the despair. Peter was in the middle of it all, with his mischievous smile still on his lips, even after everything else had vanished, the rescuers collecting names and shouting to each other, the broken bodies being carried on the streets, the body bags. I prayed that it was just another nightmare, like one in which you run but don't get there fast enough. I could hear his voice but couldn't save him. The pain in my head reminded me that I was alive and he wasn't, and the wound on my chest was still pulsing with blood, just like that day all those years ago. How the rest of the day went is a blur in my memory. I only recall being lifted by some hands, being covered in a blanket, and still holding the phone tightly in my hand. Repeatedly repeating the word concussion in soft, considerate whispers. The next morning, I awoke early. I checked my phone and saw the white number 8 o'clock on the screen. When I called this time, I was taken to voicemail. I was instructed to leave a message by his familiar voice following the distinctive sound. Peter? I said it with my mouth closed. Sarah is here. Do you hear me when I say that you need to leave the building as soon as you hear this? This isn't a prank, you must listen to me, I swear. Your workplace is going to be hit by a plane. You need to have faith in me, despite how unlikely this sounds. Please. I whispered the words I should have said years ago when he left for work and never came back, I love you. I remained curled up on the couch, unsure of how I got there, and my focus remained fixed on my phone, hoping for something to ring. It did, too. It was 8:43. 5 minutes to persuade him. Again. Sarah, sweetheart, what's going on? He inquired with concern. He obviously did not recall anything from yesterday. For him, September 11th, 2001, was nothing more than a sunny day. This needed to change. Another horror? From the prompt he gave me, I grabbed it. When I was a kid, I frequently experienced bizarre dreams that my Aunt Sue thought were signs, and sometimes they were. Yes, I said in a hurried tone. A hijack. By terrorists. You will die if you remain there. He chuckled. Sweetie, don't worry, you remember, I'm in one of the safest places on Earth. In addition, he laughed once more. Trembling. My boss is going to kill me if I don't finish this report on time. Peter. I screamed. Ignore your report. For me. Please do me a favor. Just my watch showed 2 minutes. You have to leave the building. The line was broken by his sigh. Yes, sweetheart. Only for you. I was only able to listen to his steps. Peter? While you're at it, talk to me. I pleaded because I had to, because I could save him. He said, I'm walking down the stairs right now, and the sounds actually confirmed what he said. Remember the big ones with the black railing? I wanted to shout something to him because I remembered the black railing sticking out of his chest all those years ago. But he shouted first, a raw cry accompanied by a deafening roar, and the line stopped once more.